And I can confirm before the South Africans today that the investigation which these members were involved with in Gauteng has unmasked the syndicate. And this syndicate involves, amongst others, politicians who are currently serving in Parliament. The law enforcement officers include the members of the South African Police Service, the Metro Police, and Correctional Services. They include prosecutors in Gauteng province, the judiciary, and all these are controlled by the drug cartel as well as business people in that province of Gauteng. This act, of course, undermines the criminal justice system in this country.
Hello, honorable members of the clan. So welcome to my YouTube channel. So guys, I have something that I've been digesting the entire time since it broke on Sunday morning by the KwaZulu-Natal Police Commissioner Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi has answered a lot of questions that I had in mind, and most of these questions I have posed them right here on this very channel. You and I have had this discussion before. Some people were even saying, nah, you are being an alarmist. Others are saying, well, there's got to be information or at least some kind of evidence. And I said, yeah, you are 100% correct, but what's done in darkness shall be revealed in light at some point. That's the receipts that you are and I will have to wait for. But for now, we need to apply our minds. Right now, we need to ask critical questions about what is exactly happening in our national security cluster. That is the South African Police Services, that is our intelligence, especially our intelligence. And you have to ask yourself about all these things that are supposed to be protecting the people of South Africa, that some people swore that they were going to serve and protect us. Right? They swore to the Constitution and they swore to the people of South Africa, and they were given a uniform after a thorough training. At least that's what we believe. They were trained. Because a question that I also once asked was about the kind of training that our police service gets. How is it possible that the crime rate in this country, it is so high, and yet we have the police service? Something isn't right here. Then you have to go back a little bit, I don't know, probably like the early 2000s, around the Jackie Celebi era. And then that question was always answered. It's just that we've forgotten about it. If you remember very well, the police commissioner, this is the National Police Commissioner, Jackie Celebi, was accused of being in the pockets of drug pushers, of people that were causing havoc in our country. At that time, things were still a little bit better, but you can see things were starting to pick up because the eye was no longer focused in the protection and the national security of the people of South Africa, but mostly collecting gifts from people that he's supposed to be putting in jail, and they get prosecuted and thrown in prison. Now, speaking about prosecution, speaking about the judiciary, and then Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi answers another question, and you are like, so exactly who do we trust? Who are we supposed to trust? The police? I don't trust the police. And I think I have made this very clear, that the unfortunate thing about our country is that South African citizens no longer trust the police. We walk into a police station, we get laughed at when we lay a criminal charge against somebody, especially when it is somebody that pays for their lifestyles. You know, it's a waste of time to go to a police station and report a white powder dealer in your community. Very, very difficult. As a matter of fact, the police officer will turn around to get rid of you because they are making money out of this individual. This individual pays them so that they turn a blind eye. And there you are coming to say, hey, arrest this individual. He is breaking the law in my community, destroying the future of my of the community. So now you're asking yourself, now the judiciary is involved. Well, you can make your suspicions about prosecutors and some magistrates, because we are seeing in the Senzo Mchunu murder trial that some magistrates, questionable. Why did they do the things that they did when they're supposed to adhere to the same law that they apply to people when they hear a case? And now I'm not quite sure at this point, as a South African citizen, should we trust any judge in this country? I'm talking from a magistrate to a high court judge here, all the way probably even to the constitutional court. Until these judges or the members of the judiciary that are involved, according to Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi's report, are involved, until they are arrested, they are prosecuted and convicted, and then we know that the judiciary, it is clean, it is independent, and it goes according to how the Constitution had intended it to be. Same goes with the magistrates, same goes with the police, same goes with the intelligence. Because the question you guys have heard me ask so many times on this channel is, where is the intelligence of this country? Why are we having criminal activities that could be coiled or foiled by the intelligence? Right now, we're getting phone calls coming from criminals that pretend to be working in the bank, and they will want to know your last 4 digits of your card, and they also want to know the expiration of your bank card, as well as some other few details. This is something that's supposed to be done and curbed by the intelligence. But no, they couldn't care less. Now at least we understand what their priorities is lying. The priority clearly is lying on who is aligning their pockets and how are they going to protect and defend that, that floodgate, if I put it that way. Not the people of South Africa. Who cares about them? You know, I remember very well when last year, after the general elections, and Ramaphosa announced his cabinet ministers, and I saw Senzo Mchunu being appointed the Minister of Police, and I said to myself, well, because I come from KZN and I know that Senzo Mchunu is one of the no-nonsense guys, and I thought this is perfect that he is the now Minister of Police. Little did I not ask myself a question, by the way, which political party do you think he comes from? Do you think he cares because he comes from? I did not ask that question. And I'm not saying that what Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi has said is true, because I don't know. These are allegations, but it is very disappointing to hear somebody that you once put your trust in implicated in these allegations. Because right now, I'm at the point where I'm saying, let him go. Mr. President, when you come back from Brazil, please have that letter of you firing him so that we protect the office. The office, you see, that ministerial office called police, it's a sensitive one. It's one that holds the weight of this country when it comes to the country's security, national security. South Africa seems to not to care about national security like other countries that guard their national security jealously. Either they don't understand the gravity of that office or of that responsibility, or they just don't care. And to me, it sounds like they don't care. Now, all the other police big dogs that have been implicated, again, these are allegations. I do understand that and I respect that. Everybody is innocent until proven guilty, but we cannot ignore the fact that we are unsafe in our own country, and the high possibility that the people that are perpetuating these crimes against the people of South Africa are the same people who are supposed to protect the people of South Africa. You got that part is something that we cannot bypass. I don't care who says what, because I did see Lieutenant General, what's his name, Sibiya, responding to that, like, well, Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi, he is putting the SAPS into disrepute. The question is, to whom must he have gone to? To whom must he have gone to? Because if he goes to Cyril Ramaphosa is also facing his own little questions about the money under the couch. And then if you go to the Minister of Police, who, by the way, himself is implicated in this, now exactly where and who is putting the South African police into disrepute? Where is the South African police service to begin with? Where have you guys been for you to be put into disrepute? Because crime in this country is ridiculously out of control, and the police are the ones that are supposed to making what? Sure that the criminals are gathered up, prosecuted, and thrown in jail. Not in this country. Whatever happened to the 400 million rand drugs that were intercepted at the Durban harbor? What happened to that? Who was arrested? Oh, I'm sorry. Did you say that confinement got lost? Yeah, it did get lost. And we're supposed to put our trust in these people. I am sorry. The president, when he comes back, and I have said this before on this very channel, that the South African police service needs to be overhauled. We need to start from scratch. And starting from scratch means let's go back to what they call police academy. That is, if they exist. Because even when you listen to the Senzo Mchunu murder trial, when you had the first responders, and I had one question in mind, did they go to police academy or they were appointed because they are related to somebody who is in a high position? Because there's no way that they would respond in the manner in which that they did on the stand in the Senzo Mchunu murder trial. Because the question I kept asking, whatever happened to the police academy? Do we even have those anymore? And what are they teaching them? Let's look at the detectives in South Africa. How many crimes that have been solved versus those that have not been solved? And I can tell you that the ones that have not been solved are more than the ones that are solved. Yeah. Why? Because they don't know whether they are going or come. They're inept. And I've said this so many times on this channel. And what Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi is saying, he is just one of those few ones. And you can tell that they are doing everything in their power to get Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi out of the way. And that is why, as the people of South Africa, I feel he needs us. We need to rally around Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. As a matter of fact, we should be calling for Cyril Ramaphosa to appoint him the National Police Commissioner when the current one's term is over. But we know he's not going to do that. He's too volatile for his comrades. He's too honest. He will clean the South African police service, including the intelligence, and we don't want that. So at the end of the day, we still are on our own. We are on our own, unfortunately. And we have people that we put in place because the people of South Africa trusted them and entrusted them with their security, safety and security. Children missing on a daily basis, women unalived on a daily basis. A woman walks into a police station to report being forced on. What do? They lose the evidence because the person who committed or allegedly committed this crime has a deep pocket. So what exactly do we have in the police force? They call themselves a force. What do we have there? Because to me, it sounds like these are the perpetrators of crime in our country. All for what? All for what? All for what? So it's very sad, guys. It's very sad what we are witnessing. And I hope that when Cyril Ramaphosa returns from Brazil, as a matter of fact, a leader of a country would have hopped on the plane immediately and flown back home. He should be landing already because it's what, 9-hour flight from Joburg to Rio de Janeiro. He will be here by now. And then whatever he needs to do, but some firing he needs to do. It looks like everybody at the top needs to be removed. Everybody needs to be removed. And I agree about that ad hoc committee that needs to be established, because you cannot trust the Parliamentary Police Portfolio Committee after what I've witnessed as well. The chairperson, sir, What is your excuse now, Ian Cameron? Because you interrupt, you make sure that some of the things are suppressed then when they're asked by the members of parliament. What's going on? What's going on, Ian Cameron? I thought you were the right guy. I was so excited when you were appointed as the chairperson of this portfolio committee. But now I am highly doubting you. Highly. I thought you would have cleaned the police service. I had that hope. Just like I had the same hope for Senzo Mchunu. Something's got to give at the end of the day for the people of South Africa. Cleanup time has begun. Cleanup time has begun. Political appointments, they need to stop. A politician cannot be a minister of police, especially when that minister has never been a police. What do they know about policing? What do they know about security except having security around them? What do they know? It's time we started appointing ministers that are qualified in that field. I mean, one time, Cyril Ramaphosa went and appointed an entire person who's never even seen the back of a law school as a minister of justice. All because, comrade. And that compromises us, the people of this country. When the judges and all these magistrates see that, we have that, hey, well, how can I make money and live a better life, better than the salary that I'm earning from the taxpayers? Come on, South Africa. We need to rally around Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. Either Ramaphosa appoints him the national commissioner, because at least now we know that his mission is to clean the South African police service. And I am for that. Or better yet, appoint him the minister of police, even though the minister of police is just a figurehead. But at least he will ask the right questions and he will want the right report brought to him. And if he is being lied to, he's going to hold people accountable, criminally accountable. But no, Ramaphosa is not going to do that. He's too volatile for his comrades. Too volatile for his comrades. And we get compromised at the end of the day. Look at South Africa, rotting right before our eyes, collapsing. I'm talking about national security, collapsing right before our eyes. And what are we supposed to do about it? Turn the other way and bury our heads in the sand? That time is over, unfortunately. So the question is, fellow South African, what is your responsibility after hearing what you heard from somebody on the inside? Politicians are colluding with criminals sitting in parliament. So that means they are the ones that are gatekeeping their arrests. If they do get arrested, they make sure dockets are lost. They never see a judge. Even if they do see a judge, it's going to be a specific judge that is already in the pocket of the accused that's going to stand before them. Now I'm starting to ask myself about Omotoso. All of these things are starting flowing in my head. And I'm like, I think it's making sense. That is, if that what happened. Prosecutors, you have to ask yourself, like, wait a minute, we have a trial that we are following, and things don't make sense there. Now we have to ask ourselves what Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi said. Is this also part of it? Is this also part of it? Have we been onto something all along as the clan? I don't know. But you can read between the lines that there's rot that is happening. Rot. And what are we supposed to do, fellow South Africans? We need to rally around Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. He's got more, I believe. This, what he did, was just the scratch of the surface. There's more. And we need to get to the bottom of it, in my opinion. I am willing to hear from you in the comment section. What are your thoughts? How do we help the cleaning of the South African police service of criminals or criminal element in there? Because the crime does not make sense, guys. Crime that can be easily foiled. They can't do it. They're not doing it. And that is why now criminals make a phone call to you and tell you to bring down the video of exposing them scamming you. That's how brazen and brave they are. And guess who's supposed to be curbing all of that? The intelligence. Where are they? Now we know. Anyways, guys, this is my thoughts, and I know I've got more. As I believe more shall be revealed. The good ones will come out and speak out, because the time has come for the good cop to do something right for his or her people, especially for the uniform that they wear. They swore to serve and to protect. Let's see. Only time will tell, I suppose. Please do me a big favor, smash me the like button, because it helps the channel to pick up and be promoted to new people. And also leave a comment down below your own thoughts, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and also share the video far and wide. Thank you all so much. Goodbye.